And welcome back to the YouTube channel. It's the F65 show, brought to you by Kitten Mittens. You'll be smitten. The beer from Bellingham, Washington. Unofficially brought to you by Don't Sue Us for Copyright Infringement. I'm your host, Brian Brooks, here with Nick Moore and a special guest. Nick, do you want to introduce us to who we've got on the show today?
Yeah, this is super appropriate. Adam and I met for the first time in a conversation mode here about 5 minutes ago. So who better to bring him on to the show? Adam, welcome to the F65 podcast, YouTube show, whatever you want to call this.
It's an absolute pleasure, gentlemen. If I knew that all I had to do was ask to be a guest, I'd have asked a month ago.
Cheers.
And that would have only been one video ago for those of you keeping track at home.
Nick, I hear you've got some trivia to start us off with.
I do. So this is going to be interesting for maybe half of the league because you may know Adam is a member of the MUFA team, the Cones of Dunshire. And maybe not known to you, there are 6 members of this F65 league that are current or former Cones of Dunshire. Can you name them?
Well, obviously, Brooks, myself, Aiden Boyle would be. It's a quick 3. Boy, I feel like there's one more from our team this past year, but I'm not going to cheat. I'm stuck at 3. You're going to have to fill in the rest.
All right. Well, the one that was on the team last year is Jacob Waltz.
So, yep, there we go.
Yep. Then there's 2 previous members. If you want to take a shot in the dark, there's nothing maybe in front of your face that you would want to.
Oh, well, of course, Nick Moore, of course.
The easy one.
There we go.
Awesome. Well, and then here is there's one member left, and this is part of the trivia, but also maybe your history lesson as a Cone. The last person that is yet unnamed is actually the reason for the creation behind the team. As when he moved to the league, the team I was playing on was full up on ringers. And so it was like, we need a new team because of the stupid ringer rule. And lo and behold, the Cones of Dunshire was born thanks to Sean Newland. So
that's a resident Arsenal fan, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Well, one, I think Bieber is also an Arsenal fan.
Okay.
Well, I thought Newland was Liverpool.
Oh, that's right. Newland's Liverpool. I forget that. Yeah. Bieber is the Arsenal guy.
Got it.
Wrong shade of red.
There you go. That's your little Cones of Dunshire trivia question. But before we get into our show properly, since you are the first guest on our show, I figured we'd give you the floor. I'm more curious to hear if you have any thoughts, comments, impressions on the league so far. And please keep your criticism to a minimum.
I will certainly try. I appreciate Brooks's recruitment. This all stemmed very late in the season at a barbecue when Jacob and I heard Brooks talking and couldn't resist the urge to join. I believe Aiden in the league last year as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have been looking for this opportunity for a very long time, and so this is fantastic. I will say the amount of teams has been fun. The League Cup structure, as a longtime fantasy player, I love the multiple opportunities to participate. Is very true to the game. I learned a valuable lesson early on that those 4-point transfer deductions really do matter, and that it's a really good idea to make sure that you look at the late summer, early fall transfer market before going all in on names that you know, because I absolutely chose, I believe, 3 players that had no intention of playing in the Premier League at all, and all ended up elsewhere. The tutorial that was given was very helpful. I've probably been a little low on the boosts. Played my first wild card last week before that went out. That helped. I think the other surprise has been, besides Aiden's blatant use of AI, has been the amount of how some of the best players, particularly those that are finding their form right now, have coalesced onto almost everyone's rosters. And so the opportunity for separation right now is going to be very interesting leading up to the winter transfer market, when just about everyone has given up on Erling Haaland and adopted Mo Salah as their captain, have went all in on players like Cole Palmer, Chris Wood, Brian Mbueno. We've started to see a lot of the same names. And so kind of following some of those late Sunday, Monday games where everyone is playing the same player has been interesting, which will make some of those boosts, I think, very valuable as we move forward, as well as the interesting coaches bonus that we will get.
Yeah, we'll see. And I think what will be interesting is when people start using that, as you mentioned earlier, right? There are 3 ways to play in this league. There are a few people that obviously are, going for the, I don't know, you want to call it the triple up. But theoretically, if you want to hold on to all your chips until the last FPL Cup, that's a way to do it and give yourself a good chance. Or if you find yourself in need of a boost for a knockout round for the challenge, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that stuff comes into play here.
I heard a lot of lessons learned from you there, Adam, and I can't help but notice you're sitting in 3rd place. You're doing quite well. So maybe you've righted the ship a little too early for my liking. But that's neither here nor there. I hung on to Haaland myself for way too long. I rode him hard for the last couple seasons and was a late convert to Mo Salah. Really hurt, and I'm just treading water in 7th place. But I've been in front of Nick the last several weeks, so that is maybe worthwhile.
Yeah, I was also one of those Erling Haaland graspers, but it's crazy. I think sometimes I overanalyze because, to your point, I'm always looking for the differentials, right? Like, who are the guys out there that I think have a chance, but not a lot of people have? And geez, it has backfired. I've been just getting my ass kicked here. But anyway, I think, Brooks, this is a good time for us to circle back the wagons and check on the league standings. Is there anything that sticks out to you if you want to just go through quickly the top 10 here, top 12?
Yeah, top 12 and a 12 teamer. As you can see, we've got Aiden still is at the top of the league, shortly followed by the High Line man himself, Sean Newland. Adam is in 3rd, as I mentioned, a solid 72 points this past week, leapfrogging the forgotten man, Jacob Waltz. We got Bogart in 5th, Jimmy Wiesbrock in 6th. I'm in 7th, like I just mentioned, with a new team name. Maybe I'm writing that new manager bounce, that new team name bounce. Seems to be working for me. Nick, you find yourself right below me in 8th. Jamie 9, Tyler 10, Bieber in 11th. Ross still hedging his bets down in 12th, but he is closing in on 11th place.
There was a 1 week period. It wasn't, I think it was 2 weeks ago, but he momentarily bumped into 11th place. And then Bieber immediately had the high score this last week. So he bumped up. But
anything stand out to you from those standings, Nick?
I don't know about necessarily the places, but I was doing a little bit of research here, and it is interesting. Jacob Waltz has the most high score points. He has outright won it 5 times and has a tie for the top score in a week. So 6 top scores of the week, and he does find himself down in 4th place. So it is interesting that not necessarily having that sustained top level stuff. He's got $22 in his pocket, which is great, but 4th place right now.
Not bad. Adam, any comments on the league standings?
Well, I mean, the old onion bag found something this week, and like you said, with Ross, pulled the Ipswich, had that big win, and then kind of fell back down to earth. Although, ironically, Ipswich United is right above them. I think continue to just be incredibly impressed at Revenge of the Bots. That is, he has struck gold with some of those players, and is still holding on to some of those bonuses. Will be interesting to see when he uses that. But with looking at, from bottom to top, there's a lot of points still out there. So I'll be curious to see some of the movement as we get into the meat of the season, particularly with some of the international windows coming up and the games starting to stack up, how that's going to start to affect some of our rosters.
And Adam, I'm not going to call out the jersey on your body, but rather the one above your head here. As a fellow Tottenham supporter, holy cow, we got to get these games a little further apart here. The team is on fumes. Another injury today, but hey, big win. First goal from Bergvall. So
yes,
Coys, baby.
We're going to win that first trophy since, 09?
Since before I was a fan.
Yeah.
You'll always have the 2008 Audi Cup, I think, from the preseason.
Oh, correct. Yes. We'll claim whatever we can get.
So don't think we didn't notice Aiden started the season as Revenge of the Birds, and then with the AI criticisms, slight tweak to the name. You said that Revenge of the Bots, and I was like, did you just misspeak? And I missed it. So
no,
Aiden, subtle.
AI is learning. It is self-aware. Not a fan.
Yeah. But I think we should jump into the group standings here quickly, Brooks, if you want to switch over to that. We are getting ready for the 10th and final game week of the group stage here. As a quick reminder, the top 4 in each group will advance. The winner of each group bags themselves $19, so some cold hard cash. But here in game week 22, we will be reaching the conclusion of the group stage.
So with that being said, we've got Adam on the pod on the show here. He's a draw. I mean, unlikely, but he's a draw away from securing himself $19. He's got 3 points over Newland, but if he finds himself losing, I don't think he's got the point differential to overcome Newland there. So got to get that win, Adam. How do you feel about your chances there?
Feeling pretty good with some players returning from suspension. Had to go with the classic 5-2-1 or no 5-4-1 formation. That really works usually. Really parked the bus this week and got some big points. Was hoping I could pull it out, but I think Wiesbrock's Monday. I wore that on Tuesday, did me in, so I'm feeling pretty good getting some of those players back next week. I hope Clint Mathis and his fantastic mohawk can help me pull it out.
Well, and I don't think we've necessarily released the schedule yet, but a sneak preview here. You do find yourself playing against a team that has already been eliminated, going up against Ross Sullivan here in week 10. However, after he started 0-7 in the group stage, he has strung together 2 wins. So I wouldn't go ahead and take a nap or anything, but
no, finding his form, we'll see.
So too late though.
So Nick, break us down for this. We've talked about the winners, but we've got a cluster in spots 3, 4, and 5, but with myself in third with 13 points, Jimmy in 12, and Jamie with 10 points. Do the 3 of us have anything to play for?
Absolutely. So Brooks, you are going up against Jamie, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You guys are in a win, and you're in. So I guess I shouldn't say that. If Jamie wins and he would be tied with you on points, you are in a win and you're in situation, no matter what happens. I guess looking at the point diff, you're probably in.
Mathematically, he's alive is what I'm hearing, and math was never my strong suit, so we'll just have to play it and see what happens.
But Newland and Jimmy play, and so that's where I think I got. So if Jimmy were to beat Newland, he would pop up to 15. And if you lose to Jamie, you guys would be tied, but I mean, unless he beat you by 1,000.
So what I'm hearing is it's a top 3 advance or a top 4?
Top 4. So it'll be the top 4 advancing. We'll have to do some work on here. I think Jamie can still advance, but he needs to beat you and have Newland beat.
He needs
Jimmy.
help. It's all I hear is he needs help.
Yeah, he needs to win and get some help. But you know what? Group A is where all the action is. It's all still to play for. first place is still up for grabs. There's still some bids on the line. If we go down to Group B, man, it is pretty boring. We've got the top 4 seeds are already locked in. It's just a seeding situation, and Aiden has already claimed his $19. So thanks for playing, Adam and Tyler. Adam Carlson, that is. Better luck next year, and time to turn your focus back to the league and get ready for the cup here in game week 34, I think is when that starts. So if you check back with us then, you take away a big percentage of our subscriber base.
Yeah. So Adam, if you're still listening, tell us, in the comments, what's your favorite moment as an Arsenal fan has been. Just check in with us. Just want to see how you're doing.
And you've already used your watching them play in Turkey thing, so that doesn't count.
Yeah, I want to comment in the YouTube videos. I don't want the Google chat feed. Anything else to say about the challenge, Nick?
The one other thing I'll say about the challenge is as soon as after this next game week, so game week 22, the structure for the playoff bracket, for the bracket will be A1 plays B4, and then B2 plays A3, A2 plays B3, and B1 plays A4. So I have it in the bracket area, Brooks, if you want to flash over to that.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, wherever we're not going to do a draw, but we will do a preview once the field is set, because this bad boy is just waiting to be opened. I can't wait because I'm out of shirts. This is a retread, so we gotta get rolling.
All right. That would normally wrap it up for us, but we're going to run a little long today because we have Adam on, another Spurs fan. I have prepared some choice trivia. It will be on the screen for those watching at home or on the road, wherever you consume our content, but Nick and Adam will not be able to see this. So, if you want to play along, put the screen down. But here's some Spurs trivia. And we're going to start with the guest. This first question is going to be a back and forth segment, and I'm going to count the points off to the side here. But according to Transfer Market, what are the top 5 highest transfer fees for players that Spurs have bought? Who are they, and how many euros for a bonus
and
point?
This is incoming transfers, right?
This is money that Tottenham, Daniel Levy has said, I will pay X amount of euros for this player. I'm looking for the top 5.
Boy, Daniel Levy is the Jerry Jones of soccer. He will spend money unwisely and then not spend it when he needs to. I am going to start with, and the name is leaving me, but the player who is notorious for the striker, who is famous for being a habitual chain smoker, and his name is leaving me.
Dmitry Berbatov?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is going to be one of my guesses for his hot minute with Spurs.
It's a good guess. It's not top 5.
Okay. Was he on the list lower down?
He was on the list lower down.
Okay.
I don't have I made the cutoff top 5. I don't have that handy.
Got it. Okay.
But maybe, if hang on to that name. We'll see if that comes up in a later round. Nick, over to you. Can you name me
Tanguy Ndombele, 65 million euros.
Well, that is number 2, and you're close on the amount. 62 million euros according to Transfer Market.
I knew he was a huge flame out, so
Adam, I will go back to you to see if you can give me another player in the top 5. I will say one happened this summer.
I'm going to take a shot at one. This came up in our chat. I'm going to go with the boy wonder himself, Brian Gill.
Your knowledge here is impressive. You're making some polls, but that is not in the top five.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Nick, back over to you.
I think I've got the one that you were just talking about, but I'm going to leave that one because I kind of wanted to establish how much money we're talking about. So I'm going to try to hit that number 5 spot. I'm going to go with Richarlison, like what he 40, 45, 40 mil, something like that.
Nick Richarlison is third on the list for 58 million. So
wow, we overpaid. We overpaid for that guy.
Everton misses him dearly, but we thank you for the money. We needed it badly. I'm going to stay with Nick. Do you have any more guesses? For the
I think the one you were alluding to would be Dom Solanke, who we just signed.
Yes.
For price, I don't know, Adam. Do you have a guess on price?
60 million. It was a big one.
I want to say 75, 72.
Transfer Marked, has him at 64.3 million euros.
So what numbers do we have so far?
So
2, 3.
So we've got 1, 2, and 3. 64.3, 62, and 58 million. 2 more for the top 5. Relatively recent players.
I'm going to go back to the post-Champions League final when we were all riding high. The future was bright. Christian Romero.
Well done. That is number 5 with 50. Oh, sorry. Do you have a guess?
50 million.
Well,
52.
52 million. Good call, Nick. There's a bonus point. I'm just gonna any guesses? I'm not familiar with this player. Who's sitting at number 4?
How about can you give us a year?
It was a transfer for the 23-24 season.
And you're not familiar with him?
I am. If I was better at my day job as podcasting, I would be better. No, it is not.
I mean, I'd say James Madison, but that's too obvious. Gio Lo Celso, that's a good one, Nick.
Is this the Valise guy? He was too young to get a big fee.
I'll drop a hint here. The team that he transferred from isn't in the Premier League and is having a remarkably strong season. Maybe.
I got you. Yeah, it's Archie Gray.
No.
Nottingham. Well, it's got a Nottingham Forest.
So they're not in the Premier League
Welsh. The Welsh guy.
Adam's on the right track here. I'm going to give you a half a point so that because this is
Joe Rodon.
Great...
Brennan Johnson.
There
yes,
it is.
There it is. Okay.
Yes.
Do we have a guess at how much that was?
And this is number 4?
This is number 4, and number 5 was just 52 million.
57.
45.
55.
55. Okay.
Wow.
All right. So
also, how are you not? Literally, Brennan Johnson does one thing really well. He's like super fast, and he arrives in the box at the same time that the cross does. And he's got like 11 goals this year. He's fucking killing it. And I've never put him on my squad because I'm a moron.
It's that Welsh blood. He's got a little Gareth Bale in him with that wicked left foot. There you go.
Little Bale action, baby.
I think moving on to our second question, we've got Nick with 3.5 points and 4.5 points since he got the Christian Romero number, and Adam with 1.5 points. I think we're going to do a bit better here. According to Transfermarkt, what are the top 5 highest transfer fees for players sold? So who has left the club?
Adam, I will let you take the first one.
Well, obviously Gareth Bale, I would think.
Ding, ding, ding. Do we have a guess on the number?
Well, that would have been to Real Madrid, and that was obscenely high. 80 million.
That is incorrect. Nick, do you have a guess?
I don't remember if it was 95 or 105, but I feel like it was around 100 million.
Can I get a firm guess?
95.
It was 101 million euros. And what's probably screwing this up is that we think in dollars and then it gets reported in pounds. Who the fuck? Euros, just a trash currency. But yeah, well done. Over to Nick. Can you give me number? That was number one, by the way. The most expensive transfer fee received was Gareth Bale.
Well, I'll give you who I think is number 2. He plays in Bayern Munich right now, Mr. Harry Kane. And I'm going to go transfer of 80, I think it was like 82 million, 83 million euros. 83. Final guess.
Final guess. You would be wrong. Adam, do you have a guess?
It was another very high one. 110.
95 million. 95. Second highest transfer fee in euros. Did not break that barrier. So we've got three more on the board. I will just tell you right now, we are not talking 90 million. We are not talking 100 million.
We're barely going to be talking like 40 million, I feel like.
But I feel like two of these should be obvious. Maybe not obvious. That two of these feel gettable. One, maybe not. So back over to Adam.
Defender has had a very good career since leaving. It was good for Spurs. I'll go with Kyle Walker.
Well done. Do you have a guess on the number?
We'll go with 70 million.
All right. Sorry to say that's wrong. Nick, do you have a guess?
I'm going to go like 50. I'm going to say 53 million.
You know, that is so close. I'm going to give it to you. Transfermarkt has it at 52.7 million euros.
Hey, we round up here in America.
Well done.
Oh man, that was a really good guess. This is the thing. I started watching Tottenham right after that deal was done. And since then, the only people we've sold is Harry Kane for a fee, or they're just dead to us, right? Like Dele Alli, get out of the squad, right? Brian Hill, cut rate price. Tanguy and Ndombele, sign for a bunch, sell for nothing. Like, so I honestly am like, I'm tapped out here. I'm gonna say Tanguy and Ndombele because I think we got like 20 million for him, but there's no way that's a top 5.
He's not on the list. Nick, I do think there's one player you should get. Adam, I'm thinking you should get these two.
Whose turn is it, Brooks?
It's back to you, Adam.
Back to me. I'm trying to go back to my also pre-fandom days of some of the players that played. I believe Berbatov was a big in, was also a big out. I don't remember, though. You know, he was a huge pickup for Man United when he went there, which is where he was ridiculed for just being a chain-smoking, not hardworking person. But I feel like that didn't happen until he got to Man United. So I'm going to double my Dimitar Berbatov guess.
Well done. Well done. That was number 4. Do we have a guess on the dollar amount? Again, we've got he's number 4. We've had 101, 95, and 52.7.
I feel like that was before they were really throwing around the big bucks. So I'm going to guess 50.
That is incorrect. Nick, to steal.
How much did we lose on the deal?
I don't have that information handy.
I'm going to say 32 mil.
It was 38 million.
38.
Pretty good for the 08-09 season.
Yeah, with inflation, that's pretty good money.
And we're going to go back over to Nick to try to get number 5. I think you both should get this. Maybe the most decorated player to ever play, not necessarily with Spurs, but maybe the most decorated player to ever don the cock and ball.
I mean, so this is you're getting out of my wheelhouse here. I'm gonna say Hugo Lloris, even though he basically walked away for free, but he was decorated. He was a French national when they won everything.
It's a good guess. It's incorrect, but it's a good guess.
I mean, we have to be going back a bit, and I can only think of two players, and I'm going to go with my guess only because I don't think, once again, that a transfer fee for Jurgen Klinsmann was getting that much money, and so I bet you a lot of our listeners probably don't remember this player playing for Spurs. Luka Modric?
That is correct.
Oh yeah. Wow, man. Also went to the Bernabeu.
Yeah, that's going back a bit. I would not even, Brooks, have a guess. Again, based on the Berbatov deal, I'm going to go right around that to about 35.
You got it on the money. That's a bonus
Wow.
point.
Oh my goodness, I did that shot in the dark.
Wow. I just find it crazy. These are the things I really love about just soccer in general, right? Is like Bale and Modric make their name at Spurs. They both go on and play for over a decade and become basically, cornerstones of a huge dynasty. And
Modric is ageless. He is the Tom Brady of soccer. He just keeps going.
yeah, well, I don't forget where he is now because didn't they offered him like a 1-year extension and he was like, I want to play more often or something. So I thought didn't he just leave Barca? Barca.
He's not on Barcelona, but I don't know where Luka Modric is playing.
Or sorry, he just left Real. Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
I believe he retired along with Tony Kroos, if I'm not mistaken.
He retired. Okay.
There's a chance he's still there. Adam, you did well in that round. You were kind of down after round one. You've taken a 1 point lead.
Ooh.
It's 6.5 to 5.5. We're running long here, so I might skip what I would consider my most fun question, but we'll see if we need the tiebreaker. We're gonna go on to. I think Adam, you were the last one to answer, so this one's gonna go to Nick. Where is that question? There it is. In the year that Leicester City won the title, so I believe that was 2015. It was a 3-team race between Leicester, Arsenal, and Tottenham. Tottenham finished third behind Arsenal. How many points did they finish behind Arsenal?
1.
That is correct.
Yeah, fucking like that was actually my introduction to St. Totteringham's Day. Because it happened in the last day of the season. And I Arsenal fans were like going off, and I was just like, what are they talking about? I don't get it. And that was when I learned what St. Totteringham's Day was. So
very nice. Tie game. At least 2 more questions. Hopefully we don't need the tiebreaker. This one is over to Adam. Spurs last won a North London derby at home in May of 2022. But when was the last time they won a North London derby away to Arsenal? I'll give you a point if you can give me the year, and a bonus point if you can give me the fall, if the fall or the spring half of the season.
I feel like I know this because I was a principal of an elementary school, and I had an intern with me who I'm just cursed by being surrounded by Arsenal fans. Nick Kay, wherever you are, he's a principal in Brazil now, actually. Massive Arsenal fan, and he former college soccer player. And I believe he was with me when this happened. So this would have been, I'm going to guess, 2017.
That is incorrect. You're going to have to dig a little deeper than that for the last North London derby away win. Nick, do you have a guess?
I was going to say 2020. But if I have to dig deeper, then
you're going to have to dig deeper.
Go with 2015. I already guessed. I went with 2020.
It was November 2010. Was the last.
Oh my goodness!
Wow, that's not good.
No,
that's not good at all.
Again, so we've got a tie game here. So I think we'll see if we need the tiebreaker. But this one gives me a lot of joy to ask. In October of 2019, Spurs and Bayern Munich played a 2-legged tie, and Bayern won both of them. Oh, we got Adam back.
We're gonna finish this one on my phone, boys. My battery died.
Oh, great. No worries. As I was saying, Bayern and Arsenal played a two-legged tie. Bayern won
And
both
Arsenal.
games. Sorry, Bayern and Tottenham played a two-legged tie. Bayern won both games. In London, Bayern won by, I'm going to ask you, what was the score of the game that Bayern won in London? And there were 3 goal scorers for Bayern. I need you to give me the 3 goal scorers. I believe we are over to Nick for this one.
Lewandowski.
That is 1. There are 2 more.
What was the year again, Brian?
2019. These 2 players are still on the team, as a hint.
Wow. Well, that rules out Bastian Schweinsteiger.
Does. He was off in Chicago winning the World Cup, I think.
The World Cup. Lewandowski. I'm going to pass. Nick, the floor is yours.
I'm going to go with Leroy Sané. I think that's maybe one of his earlier years on the team, and I think he's still there.
He is still there. He was not on the team yet. He was still at Man City because he joined us after we had won the Champions. He joined us the next season, so that's a good shout. Another hint, back over to Adam, because I think if you pass and Nick gets another point, it'll wrap it up. Both of these players are German. Both are German internationals.
Franck Ribéry retired.
Also French.
And he's French, correct. I missed that key part there. The most handsome man in soccer history, along with Marwan Fellaini. I will concede, Nick. Who you got?
I'm going to go with Leon Goretzka.
A good guess. It is incorrect.
We're Tottenham fans, Brooks.
Yeah,
how long are we going to do this?
We're not doing it any longer. Nick, you've won the trivia. Bayern won that match 7-2. I was in Ireland at the time. We had Tottenham actually took an early lead and then a 1-0 lead. And then Joshua Kimmich scored in the 15th minute. Robert Lewandowski scored in the 45th in the 87th minute. And why Arsenal was on my mind, because Serge Gnabry, who played at Arsenal, scored 4 goals in the 53rd, 55th, 83rd, and 88th minute. And I was a happy drunk lad in Ireland when this was going on.
Your trivia was so fun, Brooks.
I am glad.
Did he start that game, or was that a super substitution?
You know, that's a great question. We're gonna do some great podcasting business and find out that answer, because it's still in my recent search history.
I hope somewhere right now at whatever time zone it is in Germany or whatever he's doing on the that side of the world, that he's having a beer and thinking about that 4-goal performance. Right?
He played the whole game. So unfortunately not a super sub, but he also got a yellow card. So, it's no Gordie Howe hat trick, but it's a stat stuffer.
Wow.
That's all I've got. I really enjoyed that, and I'm sure you guys did too. The last question I was going to ask you was, we were going to name the entire starting 11 of the 2019 Champions League final loss to Liverpool, and just relive that memory. So maybe for another day we'll do that. Like I said, that's all I've got. Adam, thanks for joining. Do you have anything to say to the fans out here?
I've spent time with worse, but never better, gentlemen. So I appreciate the opportunity. And to those in the league, I implore you to go through the ringer of simply asking and seeing if these two fine gentlemen, like I said, it's Brooks and Moore, the finest podcast alive, or an upscale tailor in London. We'll let the public decide, but it's been a pleasure. Thank you for letting me join and getting to dust off my Christian Eriksen jersey and just hang it on my wall.
That's my first guess. He was a starter in that Champions League final.
We'll have to tune in to the next Spurs episode to see if you're right. Nick, anything before we sign off?
Nope, we've got a quick mid-week game showing up here, and then we're into the final game week of the pool play. So good luck, everybody.
Good luck and signing off.